make sure everything aligns and connects in the way that we want it to. So that's the benefit of doing or using assembly view, is that we can go in and test out the actual assembly. I already know one mistake that I want to change. So we'll close out the hoop view. So this side spar connection, I'm going to turn that back on. So this is part 16, and this is something I thought about looking at the other design. I want these to be on the other side, these bolt holes. So we'll go up here to top view, and we'll align the bolt holes, and we'll remove these. Those are the ones we want to open. And these two, we're going to make them on the same side so that we can still flip this over no matter what. But let's delete these. So we're going to delete this one. We're going to delete that one. And then we'll close that out. We're going to place the others. We'll go to top view and we'll place those here. Left click sketch, left click top plane, left click center point circle. Let's drag that down. Let's make that circle again. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll drag that up. Let's go over, select the dimension tool. Let's go ahead and resize those points. So now we're going to set that at 0.315. That's going to be 8 millimeters. So I just selected here, selected the edge, drew that away. Hit enter, and on this one, let's do that again. Select here, just like we've done before. I'm going to close that out real quick. Select on the outer edge, drag that away, and we want it to be 0.315. Hit enter. That's good. Let's go and extrude that out. I'm going to select extrude. I'm going to select sketch 61, remove. I'm going to switch the direction 6 inches. That should be more than enough, and it is. And then we'll close that out, and we can see that those are extruded through and that they're centered up. Now we're going to go to our first assembly. Now that may just say assembly view. If you don't have assembly view and you want to see one, just go create assembly and it'll pop up, and that's what you're going to see. So if you right click on that and hit rename, you can rename these assembly views. So let's left click on insert. Let's left click front frame tube. It's going to be our center tube. Place that wherever you want. I'm going to keep it in the front plane. Close that out and it's fixed there. So if you go left click insert, let's go to scroll down, do part 16. We'll start with that first. Close that out. Now we need to orient it, get it to go in the direction we want. So left click on that and you can pull up here at the rotation. Now you can do it manually like I'm doing now, or you can type that number in. Left click. If we go over to left view, you'll notice it's not going, or it's not in the orientation we want. We left click again. We're going to pull that up. And again, you could type it in if you want. Now you don't really have to move it around anymore. I like to get these fairly close so I can see what I'm doing, that I've selected the right part. We're just going to fasten these together. A couple different ways to do this. I'm just going to show you one right now. Left click here on the inner diameter. Whichever part you select first is going to be the part that moves to the other part. So that's why I'm selecting the inner diameter here. I'm going to select the top part, not the whole tube. So I don't want this centerpiece here. It would work, but I already know where I'm going to have to move this to because I've already experimented with another design. Even though this one's a little different, I have a rough idea of where this is going to go. You notice here, this is the Z-axis. We're going to have to move this up and down, and you see the Z-axis over here so that you can visualize what you're about to do in terms of movement of this part up and down this tube. I select offset. I want the Z-axis right here in blue, and we're going to move that 3.25 inches. Now you notice that went positive. We need negative to get it to where we want, because we're trying to align those bolt holes, the one in the top to the one in the bottom, because our swing arm bolt is going to go through that. Now let's close that out and let's look, and it should be centered up. This one will not only serve as a way to secure this connection to the tubing, to the front tube, but it'll also connect the swing arm. Insert. Let's go down, front base connection, good. And you notice it's already kind of in the area we need, so I'm going to leave it there without moving it around. Go to bottom view so we have a better image of what we need. We need this part to be facing this direction, so we're going to left click on that. We're going to rotate this around, and we're going to go 90 degrees on this one. So let me just type that in instead of trying to do that by hand. Doesn't matter if they're offset right now because we're going to use that same feature of fastening. So we want to select this one. Make sure that I'm selecting the end here. It'll make it easier when we assemble these. All right, good. So this gives me a good visual that it's going in the right direction. We really don't have to offset it because that's where it's going to go. So let's go left click. That's good. And it's fastened where we want it. So let's go insert. Let's go down. Let's find one of those tri connections. We're going to use this in multiple areas. Let's just kind of eyeball it for now. I'm going to bring this out. Close that out. Let's go over here. Let's go from top view. We'll bring it over here close. We know we need this to turn 90 degrees, so I'm going to select it. I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. Good. Click this inner diameter. Let's go down here to bottom view, left click here. We're going to do our offsets, and we're going to move it in the Z-axis. Let's go 6 inches positive. And let's go back to front view and kind of see where we're at. That's not enough, so it's 6 inches from here. Looking at, because this is about 5 inches long, let's actually go 11. And that would give us about 6 inches, I think, here. You don't have to. Go a left click insert, left click. Let's go down to the very first connection we created, which is the top frame connection. Let's insert it up here somewhere. Let's bring that over. Let's rotate that 90 degrees. Let's go to this diameter. It's kind of hard to see when they're black like that. All right, so we've got the right one. That's why I needed isometric views to kind of see what we're selecting here. And I want to bring that here. And then we're going to lower that until these are almost touching. So we'll go 2 inches there. Inner. All right, good. And we can see the outline. It's right there. We just don't want anything interfering with that other tube coming to that top harness connection. Let's go insert. And let's find, I believe we have 2 of these. Yeah, we've got one left, one right. And I'm sure we could have just done one and flipped it around, not a big deal. And then we'll come over, like I said before, this allows us to move, whatever part you select first is going to be the part that moves. Want to look at this in front view. Same thing applies. We don't want this to go down so far that it blocks, covers it. It looks like, let's go down 2 inches. And so we can see the outline, so we know it's not going to block it. And let's close that out and see if everything looks right. Yep, looks good to me. Insert. Let's go down and find our tri connection. Let's bring it up here. Close that out. Let's go over and go front. Left click this. Rotate that around 90 degrees. Boom. All right, to the right plane. We'll bring this up. And we'll rotate it down. So I'm going to bring it to 90 degrees. We're going to put it on like that. And then we'll set the angle in just a second. So since we're here, let's go ahead and go to Fasten Mate, left click here on the inner diameter, left click here on that diameter. Let's get our offset in the Z-axis set. So let's go offset, and we may have to adjust this. Let's go 2 inches. It's going to be somewhere close to that. So rotation by Z. So I selected rotate by Z. Let's go 30 degrees here. That's in the correct place. We know it's going to be somewhere right around there, and we'll adjust it as we complete the full assembly. All right, so we've got those in. Now we can go ahead and insert the support tubes and motor mounts. Let's start with support tubes first. Go insert. Let's scroll down. Let's find our support tube. Let's place that somewhere right around here. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. And let's move that over here, move that over here. That'll be good. Let's go fasten, insert, insert. Let's do our offset on the Z. Let's do 2 inches for right now. All right, so let's close that out. That's good. Now we'll insert another support tube. So go insert, support tube. Same process that we just used. I go to front view so I don't mess that up. 90 degrees. Good. Scroll around. Fasten, left click on that, left click here, offset, we want to go 2 inches on the Z, good, close that. Now we're going to put a motor mount here. Let's go insert, scroll down, find your motor mount, put that there, close that out, rotate 90 degrees. Insert or fasten, and then we want our offset on the Z-axis at 2. We're going to repeat that process up here. Insert, and let's go motor mount again. Close that out, rotate 90 degrees. We'll go back to front plane. I just want to make sure I'm not accidentally rotating it away in a direction I don't want. Left click here, left click here, offset 2 inches. There we go. We'll use that to line it up. So go insert. Let's go down to front base connection. Let's place it here. Close that out. Let's rotate it in the direction we need it. So we need this thing to go 180, that direction. All right, good. So we got that. We want this part here to move to the other one. Fasten mate, left click that part. There we go. We're going to offset on the Z. So we may have to go negative. No, 2 inches works. Insert front frame tube. Let's click on that. Close this out. Click fasten mate. Left click here. Fasten that one there. Let's close that out and let's look at that real quick. Now you'll notice this one does not go flush. There's a little bit of a lip left. So I think it's going to be easier to adjust this one. Let's go to that fastener that we just created. Let's do an offset. And let's bring this up in the Z-axis 0.1. Let's see what that does. That brought it down. Let's go negative 0.1. So negative 0.1. All right. And Let's look at that. That looks like that's about the same adjustment that we have there in the same location. Let's go back to that mate connector. Let's go 1.5. That might get us there. So I'm going to go down here to this measuring tool. It's our max distance. It tells me next time I need to make these the same length as that, and that won't throw off this assembly. We're going to manually adjust these so these don't have to be perfectly aligned right now. But let's click on this, click on that. That looks fairly straight. That looks like it's going through both center pieces. So we're going to leave that. Now we'll keep it where it's at. Let's go. So we changed this one. So it's at 1.25. So they all have changed except for this one from 2 inches to 1.25. When we do that, it's going to move this part over. So let's right click, show mates. So you notice here this is fastener 7. We want that to be 1.25, and we can turn off all the other mate connectors that popped up that were aligned with that. And so now we have a little bit of spacing here. These are all adjusted. It moved this out, and everything looks like it's going to line up just fine. So let's go insert, current parts. We're going to go to a try connection. Let's bring it over here. Close that out. Let's rotate this thing. Let's go top view. Rotate 90 degrees. Hit enter. Good. Let's left click fasten mate. Left click here. Left click here. Let's do our offset. And we are now, for most of these, 1.25. Actually 1.5. Let's close that out. We'll come back and look at it and just make sure everything's aligned. So let's go insert, side spar connection. Let's see if we can find it. Side spar connection. We'll place it over here. Close that out. Let's go up. Look down. Let's rotate. Hit enter. Let's go back. Let's rotate that over 90 degrees. We're going to go insert. We're going to select the inner diameter here, inner diameter there. We're going to offset that 3 inches. And we need that to go down. So let's go -3. So we're close there. So -3.25. Yeah, that looks good. So let's go insert. Let's go down to top frame connection. Let's bring it over. Let's click here. Let's go to top view. Rotate. Let's go 90 degrees. Close that out. Left click. Select this portion of the tube, that front inner diameter. Front diameter there. Let's do our offset here on the Z. Let's go 2 inches. We actually want that, I believe, set at 1.25. Yes. And that'll allow us to see that motor mount here as well, just like we did on this. Let's go insert. Let's go down to, I believe it's part 7. Yeah. We'll bring that one up here. Let's close that out there. Left click, fasten mate. I'm going to scroll in so we can make sure we're selecting the right portion. Select that part. Not the whole tube, just the diameter there. Let's do our offset. I think we were at 2 inches before on the other side. Let's go Z-axis 2 inches. Let's look, everything should line up there. I'm going to turn these, you notice here, you can see where the fasteners are. If you're trying to see what's connected or what is a fastener and where it's located. Like if I want to know where fastener 7 is, I turn that on and you'll see it's between these two parts here. If we go up to fastener 6, click on it, turn it on, it's up here. Once we get the whole paramotor frame assembled, then we'll do a small scale print.